Hey guys, Cloud here, and today we are going to be doing backstabbing. So if I punch this guy in the face, nothing. Punch him in the side, nothing. Punch him in the back, ooh, there you go, he glows. So the glow indicates whether or not it detected a backstab. It works better in PvP, and you can do a little bit more safety checks. PvE, it works pretty well, but it's not 100% perfect because if an entity is... sometimes mobs will turn ambiently, like a zombie will do this. But if they don't start walking, it doesn't update where the back of them is. So there is that case. But when you're in an active combat, yeah, it will definitely work well because the zombies are constantly moving. So today we're going to do a quick P on this, a quick pack. I'm going to go over all the commands involved, all of the stuff involved, and then I'll have it downloaded in the description in case you can't follow. So the first kind of fundamental thing is detecting when something is behind something else. So you can do this in a very simple way by going to the thing, moving behind it, and detecting a circle here. But that's not very nice. I like to have a cone, so we use the conic selection that I've covered before. So we go to the thing that you supposedly hit, aka the dummy, which is the armor stand. Then we anchor to its eyes, so the way that it's facing. And then we go as the player who is within a certain range, in this case 5 blocks. We would do a lot less range because a backstab is, like 1 block away or closer. So if you are a certain blocks away, then you face, if you face me, so then facing me, you anchor to my feet, you move forward 1 block in the direction I'm facing, then you rotate as the armor stand, move backwards but the armor stand facing backwards, move backwards in that direction, and then move if you can still find the dummy, then you move forward and run the effect. You don't have to move forward necessarily though, you could just run the effect. So if we do this, it basically just detects it. I have a better explanation in another video on hitboxes for this, and I'll flash a diagram on screen that roughly explains how it works. But essentially, it just lets us detect if something is within a cone view of something else, and the modification I made is the rotated 180 degrees, and then that makes it so that it's behind. So here we go, we detect, and it gives the glowing effect when I am behind it. And you can adjust the tightness of this, aka the how easy it is to activate the backstab by changing the 0.35 to a bigger number if you want a bigger range, and a smaller number if you want a smaller range. So if you did 0.1, it will be harder to trigger it. You have to be exactly behind them. Or if you did 0.6, then you just have to be somewhat behind them. So that pretty much is the backstab detection in a nutshell, just this command that's very long. But we also need to not constantly do this because we need to see when somebody hits something, then check if they hit something while being behind it. And if they hit something while being behind it, then do something like give glowing or give some instant damage effect or something like that. So to do this, we need to have a data pack with advancements. So we're going to make an advancement. This advancement is called attack, and it has this criteria being player hurt entity. So this doesn't work for entities backstabbing the player. That is way harder to figure out because it's hard to detect. What you would have to do entity hurt player and then have inverse logic to what I'm doing here. You could work it out, but also player hurt entity will trigger when a player hits another player. So this should work for multiplayer, but you can actually increase the efficiency of this if you're assuming you're in a PvP scenario. But regardless, when a player hits something, we reward a function called hit. Okay, so now I'm going to make the rest of these functions from the ground up. Here's the completed versions, and I should have it built by then. So we need a scoreboard called raycast, and that'll be useful later. Just keep that in mind. Let me zoom in. My computer has problems copying and pasting. So we have hit. So immediately when you get this advancement, you want to revoke it. Advancement revoke only @s only qp : hit. So this will revoke it so it can trigger again if you need to. Okay, so now you have to do tag @s add this, so we know who this is. We can always refer back to it, who the player, because this advancement will be run at me when it happens. Okay, So then we have to go execute as at E. Distance equals dot dot 3 blocks or so, maybe 5 or 6. I don't know, whatever you want to do. And you need to see if their MBT is equal to hurt time 10s. Run tag at s, and you don't really have to do the run stuff. You can just go tag these guys, add hurt. Okay, and what we can do is we can pick, so we go to all of the guys within 6 blocks, we check if their MBT has that, and then we pick the nearest one. Limit equals 1. Hurt nearest. Okay, so what this does is it establishes some entity that is the nearest and got hurt, but I think we can just cut this out, and we want all of them. So these are all the entities within the range of the player that could have been hit by the player. We don't know who got hit exactly. And then the nearest would be tag equals hurt, sort equals nearest, limit equals 1. Okay, so this will help establish there are a number of things within a range of me that got hurt, and the nearest one that got hurt is considered the hurt nearest. So this is going to be important later. So what we're going to do is when somebody hits something, it will know the nearest thing that got hurt, and it's going to remember that for later, just kind of as like a just in case, a fallback. And what it'll pick is it'll use raycasting based on the direction I'm looking to find something that is hurt that I'm looking at. So if I'm looking at something hurt, then it will say this guy is the one I hit. But if it couldn't find it, then we can always pick the nearest hurt entity just as a fallback. So we can do function qp raycast and scoreboard players set dot range raycast on this scoreboard we created called raycast, and we'll set it to like 18. Okay, so now we make a new function called raycast. The raycast is going to travel to the entity. It will play itself. So we go execute positioned 0.5 run. And we do this if score.range raycast matches 1 or bigger. And we do scoreboard players remove range raycast 1. Okay. Then we have to use the perfect hitbox, which is from another video. It does execute as at E, dx equals 0, tag equals hurt. So if it's within a block of me, then positioned -0.9, -0.9, -0.9. If entity at S, dx equals 0. So then if it's still within a block of me, then that thing was within a 0.1 range kind of selection using its hitbox. Then run function qp at entity, at target. All right, so if they are, this is the thing that selects the entity as we raycast, and this is what it does to that entity. So at target is what happens at that entity, and we will do scoreboard players set dot range raycast -1. And the reason why we're able to use a fake player for the range is because this advancement will run all these functions and all this stuff for each player that triggers it one at a time. So tag at us, remove this. So this tag will be applied for each player separately, added and removed before anybody else gets their functions ran, and the fake player will be handled before anybody else handles theirs. So it's one at a time. So this will raycast for 18, that's divided by 2 is 9 blocks. It'll move 9 blocks forward, and if it sees something that has a hurt, I guess technically we only need 12 since we used the range of 6. And if it bumps into something that is hurt, then we will set the range to -1. Okay. And then we will say hit. Okay. And then the last adjustment is we need to do execute if score.range raycast matches 0. So if it matches 0, means that it did not go to target, because target sets to -1, and this recursion would count down to 0. So 0 means it went through the whole raycast without hitting something. then as at e tag equals hurt nearest, run function qp at target. So this will force the at target to play for the nearest. So this is our fallback. And then we just do tag at e remove hurt. Tag at e remove hurt nearest. Okay, so this will complete kind of our cycle, and then at target will be the target. So if I type reload, I can, oh, it's in the process of reloading. Okay, hit. Oh, and he's dead. I think I typed the advancement revoke incorrectly. So let's go. It's called attack. But you can see that other than that, we're all good. So if I type reload, it might take some time because I think there's a lot of errors. But yeah, hit, 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 hit. And all we have to do is add the backstab component. So the last thing to do is to bring in the command that we discussed earlier. Give a tag to this guy, just like how we had dummy, but we'll just go with target because I like that naming convention better. And then replace at e tag equals dummy with at s at the beginning because we know it's already at that entity that you hit. And then also do tag at s remove. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. All right. So then at p distance, we have to do tag equals this because it would be this entity, the one that you originally tagged as the one who's doing the hitting. Then as tag equals target, limit equals 1. And then also tag equals target, distance equals 0.035, limit equals 1. And then effect give tag equals target. And then reload. There we go. And there you go. He is glowing when you're behind him. Cool. And then finally, you could just do instant damage if you wanted. Boom, and I kill him from a backstab. All right. Anyways, that's it for this one, guys. I will include the data pack with some cleaned up stuff. It'll just not have these extra folders and in the description. And you can adjust this however you want. You can change what it does, add some information, particles, whatever you need, and make this. If you want to make this PvP, you can. I think just leaving it the way it is will work with the at E, but you could make it more efficient with at A or at P. It actually will work better in multiplayer. Anyways, that's just kind of all right. That's our. That's kind of the challenge for today. The challenge for today is do backstabbing, make it work in PvP for ranged weapons. That is your big challenge for today. Hard challenge. Do backstabbing, but with arrows, right? So I hit another, and it works in multiplayer. The multiplayer thing, you may think makes it harder, but actually makes the problem easier. Doing PvE, detecting who you hit from a ranged distance is actually a lot trickier. You have to use potion effect arrows, and I've covered it before. So just try and do one for multiplayer. Multiplayer, you can use two my little hint to you is you can use two advancements. An advancement for player hit player and player got hit by player. And you can use those two advancements to work off of each other because of the order that they do their calculations. I've done that myself. Anyways, so try and do back shots. So it's a backstab with an arrow. Anyways, that's it for today. Good luck with the challenge. Let me know if you were able to do it. And anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you next one. Peace.